Criterion have just announced one of the greatest thrillers ever made is going to be joining the collection later this year. But what is this thriller? Well, stick around to find out and hear about the heap of other great announcements that Criterion have just made. Hello, my name's Elliot and thank you very much for joining me on this video. So, this is all about Criterion's latest announcements. This is for October 2022. So just in time for Halloween. And we do have some spooky movies, some Halloween themed movies getting released then. So let's just get straight into it. So the thriller that has me so excited to be joining the collection this October is Cure. This is the film from Japanese filmmaker Kiyoshi Kurosawa. This is going to be entering the collection at spy number 1155 and it's releasing on October 18th, so you can get it in time for Halloween. This is a film about a serial killer, or serial killers, where there is a string of murders and they all seem to be linked but being committed by multiple people. So there's a mystery here, it's a psychological thriller, and the way that it's done, the way that it's executed, I think is one of the finest examples of that genre. What always springs to mind when I talk about this film to other people who aren't familiar with it, I always bring up David Fincher and some of his thrillers, particularly Seven, because there is a link in terms of the atmosphere there, and I think they're two of the finest thrillers of the 90s. Without going much more into the plot of the film or anything, just take my advice, this is a thriller that you absolutely should see. It's suspenseful, it's shocking, it's thrilling, as all thrillers should be, and it's a beautiful film to look at. For fans of the movie, we're actually being treated here because this is from a brand new 4K restoration. I own the film on the Eureka Masters of Cinema Blu-ray, which came out a few years now, and that was before this new restoration was made. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some great improvements in the picture quality. Not that the Eureka disc looked bad, just that I'm expecting quite a lot from this new presentation. Interestingly, this is only going to be available on a Blu-ray and not a 4K UHD Blu-ray. This is a shame because it seems like this would have been a great opportunity to put it out on 4K, and by putting it on a 4K disc, that would actually bring more eyeballs to the film and to the release, because we know that there are people that love collecting 4K movies and want to seek out new movies on the format. So it's a real shame that that's not happening. I'm guessing it's to do with licensing rights, and certain Japanese companies are quite conservative with the rights that they hold. They don't like giving too much away to companies overseas, which, is fair, understandable. It's just a shame that this is not a 4K UHD disc. There's going to be a few special features on the disc as well, including a new conversation between Kiyoshi Kurosawa and Raisuke Hamaguchi. So that's going to be an interesting one that I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. So this does have me very excited. It isn't just about getting a new restoration or whatever else. Just the fact that this film is coming to the collection means that so many more people will be giving this film a chance. Because I think it is underseen, and I think it is one of the best thrillers of the last few decades and deserves to be seen by more people. So it's just a great thing that it's coming to the collection, and I hope many people watching this video now will give this film a chance when it comes out in October. Moving on to another release which is sure to be a big seller during October, we're getting a 4K release of Night of the Living Dead. So this is already in the collection. There is a fine Blu-ray of this already, which I have on my shelf, but it's getting that 4K upgrade. It's going to have the same spine number, 909, in the collection, and unfortunately no new special features. This seems to be something that Criterion are sticking to, where when they're updating a disc to a 4K release, they're not adding anything new apart from the updated film itself. I'm of two minds on this because obviously I would love extra content, extra supplemental features. It would feel like you're getting that extra value from upgrading to the 4K release. At the same time, a lot of people who aren't 4K ready yet and aren't buying 4K discs would be missing out on those extra features. So I'm of two minds. Maybe down the line, eventually they'll do this, but for now, it seems like Criterion are not adding any extra features when they upgrade a disc to 4K. The film itself, it's a classic of independent horror cinema, obviously made zombies a culturally important thing in horror, and it's just iconic. So many iconic lines and scenes in the film. With the film being upgraded to 4K, I'm not too sure how much of an improvement this is going to be, purely because of how the film was shot and the film stock that was used and the equipment. It was all quite low budget, independent. So it will be interesting to see. I don't think we're going to see a massive jump in improvement like we would see if an older Hollywood high budget film was being restored in 4K. So I'm interested. I'm definitely going to pick it up anyway because I'm a huge fan of the film, but I'm suspecting it might not be one that everyone should upgrade immediately, but we will see. The other 4K disc that is coming out from Criterion on October 11th is the David Lynch film Lost Highway. This is brand new to the collection. It's going to be spy number 1152. And this has been a long time coming, and I know the David Lynch fans have been eagerly anticipating this release for quite some time. Recently on the channel, I mentioned some of my reservations with some of David Lynch's works. Nevertheless, I'm excited for this because I've actually never ever seen Lost Highway. So this is going to be my first time experiencing the film. And many people have actually kind of said I don't know if it's thematically linked to Mulholland Drive or just feels very similar in terms of tone. But listen, I'm excited to watch it and see what it's going to be like on the 4K disc. There's a few special features that are going to be on this release as well, including a feature-length documentary from 1997 about the art of David Lynch. So I'm sure for Lynch fans that'll be a great thing to watch and definitely worth checking out. So I'm excited for this film, I really am. And I think a lot of people are also going to be picking this up in October. On the same date, October 11th, we're also getting this brilliant classic film from Frank Capra, Arsenic and Old Lace. This feels like it's been rumoured for years and years to be coming to the Criterion Collection, and finally we're seeing it being announced just in time for Halloween because this is a Halloween movie. This is going to be spy number 1153, and the film itself came from that great period of Hollywood where we were getting lots and lots of these brilliant screwball comedies. And Cary Grant and Frank Capra is such a great combination. I can't wait to watch this on the Criterion Blu-ray. In the specs on Criterion's website, it says that it's from a 4K digital restoration, so this is going to look amazing on the Blu-ray. Again, no 4K Blu-ray, but nevertheless, I'm very happy to have it. And there is an audio commentary in the special features, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out come October. To anyone that's watching who hasn't really watched many of these screwball comedies or isn't too familiar with Cary Grant's films or Frank Capra's films, I definitely recommend you to go away and look at some of those films that Frank Capra made, the screwball comedies that Cary Grant made with Howard Hawks and Leo McCarey. They're just brilliant films that are endlessly rewatchable even to today. So definitely something to go and check out. October is a big month for releases because we've got 6 different films coming to the collection. I've got 2 more for you to talk about. The next one is La Llorona. This is a Guatemalan film from the filmmaker Jairo Bustamante. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This one I haven't seen. This is a recent film from the last few years. And when trying to look it up, it kept coming up with search results for the Conjuring spin-off with the similar title. So it was actually quite hard to actually find out much about this. But from the reviews that I checked out, a lot of people are very, happy with this film. They think it's a great piece of cinema. Criterion describe it as a transfixing fusion of folk horror and searing political commentary. So I'm very intrigued by this film. This is definitely the kind of one that I'd like to blind buy, particularly because Guatemalan cinema I'm not familiar with at all, to be honest with you. And also the cover artwork for the Criterion release is very intriguing indeed. It reminds me a lot of the macabre artwork of someone like Seb McKinnon, who does a lot of artwork for Magic the Gathering. So I really like that style of artwork, and it definitely has me interested in this release. So having not seen the film, I can't talk much about it at all, really. But the features on the disc, there is a new interview with the director and a documentary on the making of the film. And this is spy number 1156, if I didn't say that already. So that's La Llorona, a blind buy that I'm definitely going to be picking up later this year. And lastly, to round out this stacked October for Criterion, we have the film Eaves Bayou. This is from filmmaker Cassie Lemons. This is from 1997, and it's going to be entering the collection at spy number 1154. Again, this is a film I'm not too familiar with at all, but isn't that the brilliant thing about the Criterion Collection and various other Blu-ray labels, where they introduce new films to you just purely by the fact that they exist within a larger collection. I've learned over the last few years to realise that I don't actually know that much about cinema at all, because many of these great labels keep introducing works to me that I'd never heard of before, and it's just a great thing. Criterion really are doing what they set out to do in their motto, which is to preserve films. And by having this on a new disc in the collection, it's going to be preserved forever. So again, while I can't talk about the film itself, let's have a look at some of the special features. It's stated as being from a 4K digital restoration, so I imagine it's going to look very nice indeed. There's an audio commentary on the director's cut featuring all of the filmmakers. There's a short film from the director, a new interview, cast reunion footage. There's another interview with the composer. There's various special features, quite a stacked release actually. So if you're a fan of the film, I'm sure this is a great thing to have indeed. But for me, it's going to be one of those blind buys that I think I'm going to really enjoy. So that rounds out the month for October 2022. Many people are already calling it one of the best months that Criterion have put out in a long time. So if you have any thoughts on it, do let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video and you're interested in watching more Criterion videos from me, I'll put one on screen right now where you can get some more recommendations from myself and you can hear some more discussions about the films within the collection. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.